The golden gates of the dragon castle creaked open as Phoenix landed in the courtyard. Yn jumped down, her wings brushing softly against her back. Alice and Anna followed, holding hands tightly. The moment she stepped inside, two figures came rushing toward her. Atara, flower fairy, where were you? She cried, eyes wide with worry. Ingrid reached her next. Ingrid. Everyone was present at the wedding except the bride and groom. We searched all night. Yin's breath caught. Yn, the Dragon King, he isn't here. Atara shook her head. Atara, no, we thought you were together. Even Blaze, the ice dragon, and the crown prince weren't around. Yn, maybe they all went to the magic land. Phoenix stepped forward, his voice serious. Phoenix, no, the Dragon King wasn't with them. Yin's chest tightened. Yn, what if the witch? What if she did something to him? Ingrid shook her head calmly. Ingrid, that's not possible. Theodora can cast illusions, yes, but she doesn't have the power to hurt the Dragon King. Atara, maybe he went looking for you. Ingrid, I think he'll return. Let's wait a little longer. Yn looked unsure, but slowly nodded. Her heart was heavy, her eyes still searching the skies. Just then, Ingrid noticed the two small girls hiding behind Yn. Ingrid, who are they? She asked gently. Yn turned and smiled. Yn, these are my sisters Alice and Anna. Ingrid's eyes softened. Ingrid, you have their eyes. Anna peeked out. Anna, you're really friends with a dragon. Yn smiled and gave her hand a gentle squeeze. Yn, I am. Taehyung stepped into the dark forest, the trees towering above him like giant shadows. The air was thick with fog and strange whispers. His fire crackled softly in his hands, lighting the path, but every turn looked the same. He moved forward, his golden eyes sharp, alert. Taehyung, princess, he called out. Only the wind replied. Theodora's magic was strong here. The forest twisted unnaturally, trees bending and paths looping back on themselves. Illusions danced in the corners of his eyes, shadows that looked like her, flowers that vanished when touched. Then he saw something, a soft shimmer in the air. He moved closer and picked up a small petal, glowing faintly with golden light. Her scent, her magic. Taehyung, she was here. He closed his fist around it. He walked deeper and deeper into the forest, following the trail of magic dust that sparkled faintly on the ground. More petals, more fragments of her shimmer. The farther he went, the faster his heart beat. Taehyung, princess, he called again. Suddenly, he saw her. She stood under a silver tree, smiling gently, her wings glowing behind her, her dress flowing like petals in the wind. Taehyung froze, his heart skipped. But then, she didn't move. Her smile was still, her eyes empty. He took one step closer and the illusion shattered like glass. She was gone. He looked around, his chest tightening. Taehyung, she's not here, she already left, he whispered, his fire dimmed in his hands. All that remained was her scent in the wind and the pain growing deep in his heart. The warm sun passed overhead as Yn sat on her bed, staring at the door. Her wings drooped, her heart ached. He still hasn't come back. Suddenly, footsteps echoed in the halls. Blaze entered the room, followed by Jungkook and Jimin. Jungkook, Yn. He ran to her, his eyes welled up with relief as he saw her sisters. Jungkook, Alice, Anna, you're safe. Anna ran to him and hugged him tightly. Anna, we missed you. But the moment passed quickly when Yn spoke. Yn, the Dragon King isn't in the kingdom. Jimin, where does that fool go? Yn, I don't know. Jungkook, we don't have much time. Blaze, I think we should go and find him. The three left, leaving Yn with her sisters. Alice, tomorrow is your 20th birthday, sister. Yn, Anna, I'm feeling scared. You'll be fine, right? Yn smiled and hugged them. Yn, I will be fine as long as you and the Dragon King are by my side. Anna, what if the Dragon King doesn't come back before midnight? Yn, then I'll accept my fate, she said with a sad smile. Alice, don't say like that, she said, holding her tears. Yn, the Dragon King will be back. Come sit with me. I will tell you our story. Alice, is it a romantic story? Yn, maybe. Anna, did you two kiss? Yn blush but pretend to be angry and glare at her younger sister. Yn, you're too young to ask such questions. The sisters started talking, and like this another hour passed. Yn stood abruptly, her legs trembling beneath her. Yn, I'm feeling worried for the Dragon King. I can't sit here anymore. Anna, sister Yn, wait, where are you going? Yn held onto the wall for support and smiled faintly. Yn, I need to find the Dragon King. Alice, you can't go alone, you're not well yet. Yn leaned down and kissed both their foreheads, tears glimmering in her eyes. Yn, I won't be alone, I have Phoenix. She turned to leave, but stopped at the doorway. A sudden, sharp ache filled her chest, her voice trembled. Yn, take care of mother and papa, okay? Anna clutched Alice's hand tightly, their faces full of worry. Without looking back again, Yn walked out into the courtyard. Phoenix was already waiting. She climbed on his back slowly, her heart beating hard in her chest. Yn, please be safe, Dragon King. With a mighty flap of his wings, Phoenix soared into the sky, carrying the flower fairy into the winds once more, to find her Dragon King. Taehyung turned away from the illusion, his fists clenched. The magic in the forest grew stronger, darker. Vines with sharp thorns crawled over the ground, trees shifted, blocking his path. He tried to fly, but the air was heavy. Every flap of his wings felt like lifting a mountain. Smoke wrapped around him, whispering lies. She left you. She doesn't love you. You're too late. Taehyung, no, he roared, his fire bursting from his chest. Flames burned through the shadows, pushing the smoke back. He moved forward, but the forest fought harder. Crows flew down in black clouds, their eyes glowing red. They screeched and clawed at him. Taehyung raised his arms and spun, fire swirling around him like a storm. The birds screamed and turned to ash, but more kept coming. His body ached, his fire flickered, but then he remembered something: her smile, her voice, the way she called his name. Taehyung, I have to find her, he growled through his teeth. With a final burst of strength, he lifted himself into the air. He broke through the vines and smoke, cutting through every illusion. Light slowly returned. The trees stopped moving, the whispers faded. He crashed through the edge of the forest, landing on the dirt road outside, bloodied, burned, and breathing hard. The sky above was starting to turn orange. The sun was setting. He looked up, fear blooming in his chest. Taehyung, I have to reach her before midnight. He stood up slowly, his body shaking, and began to walk toward the Dragon Kingdom. The sky was turning orange and pink as the sun slowly sank behind the mountains. Yn sat quietly on Phoenix's back, her eyes full of sorrow. Yn, we've searched everywhere, and I still can't find him, she whispered. Phoenix looked back at her gently. Phoenix, don't lose hope yet, Flower Fairy. But deep down Yn felt something breaking. Maybe Taehyung doesn't want to marry me. Maybe he doesn't love me anymore. She hugged herself as the wind grew colder. Suddenly, Phoenix's ears twitched, his wings stiffened. Yn, what is it? Phoenix, I hear something, a whisper in the wind. It's a dark spell. He closed his eyes, listening carefully. Then he gasped, Phoenix, Flower Fairy, if you die, Theodora will steal your magic, all of it.Yn's heart skipped a beat. Yn, what? Phoenix nodded. Phoenix, you have the strongest magic in this world. The magic of the Dragon King's love. If you die before marrying your true love, she'll absorb your power, and then she'll rule both the fairy and dragon kingdoms. Yn shook her head, horrified. Yn, no, I can't let that happen. Phoenix looked at her. Phoenix, then we need help. We must visit the wise owl of the Sapphire Valley. Yn took a deep breath and nodded. Yn, let's go. The night was full of strange lights and silent clouds. Stars blinked like eyes. The wind howled around them as they flew through the misty skies. Finally, they arrived at a glowing tree with silver leaves. At the very top sat the wise owl. His feathers shined like the moon, and his eyes glowed blue. Yn stepped forward. Yn, please help me. I don't want my magic to fall into the witch's hands. The wise owl blinked slowly, then he spoke in a deep, echoing voice. Owl, if you leave your magic in the Cloud Kingdom, it will be safe. Magic given freely, with love, cannot be stolen by greed. Yn looked down, her wings shimmered faintly. Yn, but if I give up my magic, I won't have anything left. Owl, you'll have your heart, and that is the strongest magic of all. The owl replied. She smiled softly. Yn, then I'll do it. YN and Phoenix flew to the sky meadow, where the elf reindeer stood under a rainbow halo. She bowed deeply. YN, please, I need to go to the Cloud Kingdom. The elf reindeer stepped forward and looked into her eyes. He raised his glowing antlers to the sky. The clouds swirled, and beams of light curved down from above, forming a beautiful rainbow staircase that reached far into the sky. She turned to Phoenix, her eyes glistening. YN, I guess this is goodbye. Phoenix lowered his head. Phoenix, only for now. YN reached out and hugged him around the neck. YN, you've always been by my side. Thank you, she whispered. Phoenix smiled gently. Phoenix, go, climb, and let the clouds carry your heart. With one last look, YN turned and took her first step up the glowing stairs. The wind carried petals around her as she climbed higher and higher, her wings sparkling behind her. Somewhere far away, Taehyung's heart thudded with fear, but neither of them knew they were still chasing each other through the sky, lost in love and destiny. YN landed gently in the Cloud Kingdom. Everything around her was soft and quiet. White clouds floated like feathers, and the wind whispered softly. She looked around with a sad smile. This place held memories. The first time she came here, Taehyung was by her side. This was where she realized her feelings for him, where her heart had chosen him. Her smile faded slowly. With teary eyes, she walked to the center of the cloud field and knelt down. The memories played in her mind. Taehyung holding her in flight, Taehyung teasing her, Taehyung looking at her with those eyes that always saw through her walls. She closed her eyes, a tear slipped down her cheek. Bringing her hands together, she summoned all the magic inside her. Golden sparkles swirled around her like gentle fireflies. Her wings glowed faintly as the last shimmer of magic left her body. The clouds parted, and from the ground, a delicate golden flower bloomed, its petals thin like sunlight. Glowing with her power, it stood still in the cloud bed, beautiful and silent. YN's body grew weak. She swayed and fell beside it, her cheek resting on the cold, soft cloud. A long tear rolled from her eye as she whispered, YN, goodbye, my magic. Far away, deep in the sky, Taehyung flew. His wings were heavy, the wind was cold, but something inside him burned stronger than ever. His heart was racing. She's not fine. Something's wrong. The sky was empty, but his soul kept screaming her name. Suddenly, his eyes caught something. An owl. It sat on a crooked tree branch, still and silent, high above the clouds. Its golden eyes stared straight at him. Taehyung slowed down, hovering in the air. The owl slowly twisted its head to the side. Then, a soft whisper floated to him, gentle, yet clear as thunder in his mind. The flower fairy went to the clouds, to release her magic. Taehyung froze, his chest tightened, the wind roared in his ears, fear exploded inside him, raw and powerful. He clenched his fists. Taehyung, no, no, please just wait for me, he whispered, almost begging the wind. He didn't went to the snow forest to call the elf reindeer and ask him to make stairs to the Cloud Kingdom. There wasn't time. He spread his black wings wide and flew straight up, faster than he ever had. The air turned cold, the sky turned thin, his wings tore through clouds, each flap feeling like fire ripping through his muscles. But he didn't care. His mind screamed her name, his soul raced ahead of him. He had to reach her, before it was too late. Finally, after fighting through storms, burning through pain, and chasing the whisper of hope, Taehyung reached the Cloud Kingdom. The night in the Cloud Kingdom was quiet and magical. Soft white clouds floated everywhere, glowing gently under the silver moonlight. The stars sparkled above like tiny diamonds. The moon stood high in the sky, full and bright, resting in the middle of the clouds like a glowing pearl. Cool wind brushed through the air, carrying the soft scent of flowers and magic, but none of it mattered to him. Because there in the middle of a glowing bed of clouds she was there, fragile, still, her wings barely shimmered, her breaths were soft and shallow, like a flower wilting in silence. Taehyung, princess, he whispered, falling to his knees beside her. Her eyes fluttered open at the sound of his voice. YN, draw Dragon King, she breathed, her voice weaker than ever. Taehyung, I'm here, he said quickly, cupping her face with trembling hands. Taehyung, I'm here now, please don't go. A soft tear rolled down her cheek. YN, you came, I'm glad, she smiled faintly. He pressed his forehead to hers, fire and flowers melting into one. Taehyung, I was so scared. I couldn't feel you. I thought I lost you, he whispered. Yn gently placed her hand on his chest, over his racing heart. Yn, I gave away my magic, but not my love. I kept that for you, she whispered, his eyes stung with tears. Taehyung, no, you'll live. We'll fix this. We'll marry before the night ends. You won't leave me. I won't let you, he said firmly. Her lips trembled in a soft smile. Yn, you always say the most impossible things. Taehyung leaned in and kissed her gently as if trying to breathe life into her lungs, as if that one kiss could stop time from stealing her away. And for a moment, the clouds stilled, the wind hushed, and the flower fairy bloomed again in the warmth of her dragon's love. Yn rested her head on Taehyung's chest, eyes fluttering closed in peace. A faint shimmer flickered over her skin, her wings glowed then dimmed. Taehyung noticed it first, the shimmer. It wasn't steady, it was fading. Taehyung, princess? He called her, his voice trembling. She looked up at him, confused. Yn, what's wrong? Taehyung touched her wings. Taehyung, your shimmer, it's disappearing. Suddenly, her expression shifted. She clutched her chest, a flash of pain crossing her face. Yn, my heart, it hurts. And then, her voice went quiet. Taehyung caught her just in time as she collapsed again in his arms. Her body was warm, but her pulse too soft. Taehyung's heart thundered in his chest as he scooped Yn into his arms, cradling her like the last spark of light in a dying world. Her skin, once blooming with the warmth of spring, was now pale as moonlight, her wings, lifeless, her breaths, shallow and slow, her lips parted slightly. Yn, love you, she breathed, barely a whisper, but it shattered him like thunder. Taehyung, no, he choked, pressing his forehead to hers, his voice breaking. Taehyung, no, don't say goodbye. You're not leaving me, not like this. He looked up, the moon, silver and glowing, slowly rising to the center of the sky. Midnight was near. He have minutes, maybe less. He have to marry her now, or he'd lose her forever. With trembling arms, he pulled her closer and spread his burnt, torn wings. He pushed himself off the cloud, trying to lift them both, but his wings buckled. The weight of love, fear, and pain pulled them downward. He tried again, muscles screaming, heart pleading, but they were falling, until a blaze of red and gold burst through the clouds. Phoenix, the mighty horse, let out a thunderous cry and swept beneath them, catching them mid-air. Taehyung gasped, clutching Yn to his chest. Phoenix's wings flared wide, glowing like fire and sunrise, lifting them high through the cloud kingdom skies. Taehyung, breathless, looked down at Yn. Taehyung, hold on, just a little more, I'll save you, I promise. As Phoenix soared faster than ever, the stars above them blinked, witnesses to a love that refused to break even against time itself. Phoenix landed with a mighty flap in front of the dragon castle, its sparkles dimming in exhaustion. Taehyung jumped down, without hesitation, clutching Yn tightly in his arms. He burst through the castle doors, his voice echoing like thunder through the halls. Taehyung, Blaze, bring the priest now. Startled, Blaze turned, his eyes widening at the sight ofYn's limp body in Taehyung's arms. He didn't ask, he just ran. Footsteps echoed from every corner. Ingrid, Atara, Jungkook, Jimin, Alice, Anna, they all rushed to them, faces pale with horror. Taehyung collapsed to his knees, cradling Yn, his body rocked gently, as if trying to sing her soul back into her body. He pressed his forehead to hers, his tears falling like rain. Taehyung, I was a fool, I wasted time pushing you away, thinking I was protecting you, but you're my heart, princess, you're my whole soul, he whispered, voice cracking. She stirred faintly, her lips moved like petals trembling in the wind. Yn, you're my true love. The door slammed open, the priest entered, his white robes glowing with silver runes, his hands already sparkling with ancient magic. Taehyung, there's no time for ceremony, just bind our souls, do it now. The priest nodded, urgency sharp in her features. He placed his glowing hands over theirs and began chanting the oldest vow of union. Light rose around them, blue, gold, and pure.Yn's body glowed faintly as if responding, as if hearing the magic call her back. The priest's voice echoed, priest, do you, Dragon King Taehyung, take this flower fairy, Taehyung. I do, forever, he whispered fiercely, clutching Y or N like life itself. Priest, do you Y or N of the meadow, take this dragon king. Dong dong, the castle clock roared. Midnight. Everyone froze. Taehyung's eyes went wide. No, no, he clutched Y or N tighter, terrified. Her lips trembled. YN, I do. A burst of brilliant magic exploded between them like a dying star, giving one last flash of light. Their souls were bound. They were married. But YN's body arched in his arms. Her mouth opened in a silent cry, then fell limp. Silence. The palace stood still. Even time held its breath. Taehyung trembled. Taehyung, princess, he whispered. Taehyung, YN. But she didn't stir. Her shimmer was gone, her wings still, and all he could do was hold her tighter, praying the bond wasn't too late. YN's body had stopped glowing. Her wings, once a radiant shimmer of light and gold, now hung dull and lifeless. Her hand, barely curled around Taehyung's, slipped from his grasp. Taehyung shook her gently. Taehyung, princess, he whispered. No response. He shook her harder. Taehyung, princess, wake up, please, please wake up. His voice cracked, fragile, trembling. Taehyung, princess, I'm sorry. I should have told you sooner. I should have held you closer. Just open your eyes, please, just once. He pressed his forehead to hers, rocking her back and forth. His tears soaked her hair. Taehyung, please don't leave me, please. A gentle hand touched his shoulder. It was Lilith, his mother, her face solemn, eyes already wet. She knelt beside him and whispered, Lilith, she's gone, my son. Taehyung let out a sound that wasn't human. A raw, broken cry tore from his chest as he clutched Y or N tightly, like the pieces of his world were slipping through his fingers. His wings flared in agony, heavy with grief, dragging behind him like chains. The room blurred as he wept into her hair. Even the sky outside had gone silent. Then, a whisper soft as mist brushed his ear. You can go back to her. His breath caught, his eyes snapped open. He turned. Far in the garden, perched on the bare branch of a silver tree, sat the same all, its golden eyes locked with his. The same all he saw in the sky, the same voice he heard in the forest. He stood up slowly, cradling Y or N in his arms. Everyone stared, unsure, but he said nothing, not a word. He walked out. Step by step, quiet as a ghost, he carried her to her chamber and gently laid her on the bed of flowers she once created herself. He brushed a lock of hair from her face. Then, without looking at anyone, he turned and walked out. No one followed. They knew, the Dragon King needed to be alone. In Castle Garden, the owl was still waiting. As Taehyung approached, the owl twisted its head once more and the whisper came again. You completed the vow, she became your wife. The curse was not broken, but your souls are now bound. If you sacrifice your life with hers, you will meet again, where the curse cannot follow. Taehyung, how? He asked in a low voice. The owl's feathers rustled. Kiss the dead fairy's lips. One kiss, one choice. Your soul will follow hers. Taehyung looked down, breathing heavy, his fingers curled, his jaw clenched. Taehyung, then let it be so. But as he turned, something inside him shifted. Rage, burning, ferocious, red hot. He turned his head toward the stormy sky. His eyes, once hazel and warm, now blazed like molten fire. Taehyung, but first, I will destroy the witch world, he growled. In the tallest spire of the witch realm, Theodora's laughter echoed like thunder. Theodora, the flower fairy is dead. I win. Her voice, shrill and triumphant, bounced off the blackened stone walls as she spun in madness, her robes swirling like storm clouds. But then her enchanted mirror flickered, glitched, warped. A voice whispered from within the glass, soft and terrible. Mirror, she left behind her magic. In the clouds, the smile vanished from Theodora's face. Theodora, no, no, that's not possible. She rushed to her crystal pool, her long nails clacking against the edge, but all she saw was mist, clouds, and then one flower, blooming in golden shimmer, its petals pulsing with YN's magic. Her face twisted in fury. Theodora, no, she screamed high and feral. But as the scream tore from her throat, something else tore too. Her beauty, gone. Her body began to change, her flawless skin cracked, her shining hair grayed and fell, her beauty, stolen with dark spells, dissolved like dust. She let out a shriek of agony that echoed through the entire witch kingdom. But then came the roar, a sound so mighty, so primal, it shook the ground. Dragons. No, the Dragon King. The skies split open in flame. Taehyung arrived, wreathed in fire and fury. The witches screamed and scattered as the Dragon King landed, his eyes glowing, his aura black with wrath. He walked through, flames untouched, his voice low and final. Taehyung, for every moment she suffered, for every tear she shed, for the life you stole. He unleashed hell, flames burned the towers, the forests, the skies, and then he found her, Theodora, now a shriveled, broken thing, crawling on the stone floor, her voice rasped, trembling. Theodora, mercy, please, I didn't know, I didn't mean. But Taehyung's eyes were cold fire. Taehyung, she meant everything to me. He raised one hand and fire consumed her, a single, silent scream, then nothing. The dark fell, the witch world burned, and in its ashes, only the echo of love and wrath remained. Jungkook stood quietly in the chamber as Taehyung laid Y on the flower-covered bed. His jaw was trembling, and his fists were clenched. Alice collapsed beside the bed, her small body racked with sobs as she clutched Yn's limp hand. Alice, wake up please please, she whispered, her voice cracking like glass. Anna knelt next to her, reaching out with trembling fingers to gently brush the strands of hair from Yn's face. Her lips quivered as she leaned closer, her breath catching. Anna, we were supposed to go home together, all three of us. Ingrid wrapped her arms around the two girls, pulling them into her embrace as if trying to shield them from the cruel weight of grief. Ingrid, she loved you both more than anything. She still does. Her voice was soft, but heavy with sorrow. Atara stood in the corner, her hands covering her mouth, tears falling silently, her heart shattered with each second. Yn had never seen her as a maid. She had been her friend, her sister in spirit. Atara, why did the kindest ones always leave too soon? She whispered. Jimin stood by the doorway, his jaw clenched, eyes glassy. He turned slightly toward Blaze, his voice hoarse and low. Jimin, I'm going to find Taehyung. And before Blaze could respond, Jimin walked away quickly, head bowed, fleeing the room not just to find his brother, but to hide the storm breaking inside his own chest. Blaze hesitated, then followed without a word, their footsteps echoing through the cold, grieving halls. Now only light sobs are echoing around the room. After a long silence, Jungkook knelt beside the bed and gently touched Yn's forehead. Jungkook, let me take her home, to the magic land. Her parents, they deserve to see her. One last time, he whispered to Lilith, standing at the door. Lilith, tears streaking down her cheeks, gave a slow nod. Lilith, take her. Let her parents hold her once more. Magic Land. The sky over the magic land turned gray with grief. Clouds floated like heavy tears. Jungkook sat on a dragon, flying through the wind. He held Yn's still body close to his chest, wrapped in soft silk and petals. The flowers below him wilted as he passed by, as if they too were mourning. The first light of dawn touched Yn's face gently, like a goodbye kiss from the sun. When Jungkook reached the magic land, everything stopped. Fairies froze in midair. Elves and dryads placed hands over their hearts in sorrow. Then her parents saw her. They ran forward, breathless, full of hope that vanished the moment they saw her face. Elira, no, no, no. Her mother's knees gave out. She fell beside Yn, sobbing loudly, her hands reaching out to hold her one last time. Jungkook gently laid Yn on a glowing crystal altar. Her mother kissed her forehead, tears falling onto her cheeks. Her father stood frozen, gripping the edge of the pedestal. His hands were shaking, his voice cracked. Thalon, my little girl, no. The fairy elders bowed their heads and cried. Poppy, the little pink troll, stood behind a tree, holding a flower, wiping her nose with her sleeve. The sky grew darker. The wind stopped blowing. Soft flower petals floated down from above like falling snow. The whole land wept. Yn was home, but too quiet, too still. The Dragon Kingdom. Taehyung returned hours later, burned, exhausted, and hollow. He walked into the throne hall, his armor charred, his face expressionless. Lilith stood at the center with Jimin and Blaze. Taehyung, where is she? He asked quietly. Lilith swallowed. Lilith, the fairy prince took her to the magic land. Taehyung nodded once, then he reached up and removed his crown. He walked toward Jimin, stopping just in front of him. Everyone stared, confused. Taehyung pressed the crown into his elder brother's hands. Taehyung, you're the king now. Gasps filled the hall. Jimin's eyes widened. Jimin, Tae, what are you talking about? Lilith stepped forward, panic rising. Lilith, no, what are you doing? She reached for the crown, tears filling her eyes. Lilith, you just got back, don't say goodbye like this. Taehyung didn't speak. He bowed gently to his mother, his elders, and to Jimin. Then turned his back. Lilith fell to her knees. Lilith, son, please. Jimin's eyes welled up. Jimin, he's going to do something. Blaze, go. Blaze and Jimin chased after him. But Taehyung had already spread his wings, flames flickering behind him like sorrow, and soared into the sky, toward her, toward the only place left that held his heart, the magic land. He arrived in silence. The fairies grew quiet as they saw the shadow pass over the clouds. Taehyung landed before the altar. Hwayeon's sisters stepped aside slowly. Her parents looked up, and Taehyung walked to her body. And no one stopped him. No one spoke. He fell to his knees beside her. Her hair was arranged in a braid, her lips pale, her hands crossed over her chest. A flower crown rested gently on her forehead. Taehyung, she's beautiful, but she always was, he whispered. He'd take out a small chain with a golden locket and make her wear it. The locket looks like a tiny fire dragon holding a blooming flower. Taehyung, it will remind you of me. Lilith, Jimin, and Blaze arrived moments later, landing just beyond the field. Atara was with them, holding Allison in a tightly, trying not to fall apart herself. Snow gathered in a place as Ingrid arrived. Taehyung turned to them. He looked at Atara, his eyes full of unspoken gratitude. Then to Lilith, his mother, who now openly sobbed, begging him with her eyes to stay. But Taehyung gave his last words only to Hwayeon. Taehyung, I'm sorry I was cruel in the beginning. I'm sorry I pushed you away. I love you, flower fairy. He leaned down and kissed her. As Taehyung's lips met Hwayeon's, a still silence settled over the entire magic land. No wind, no breath, just the soft hum of the universe holding its breath. And then it began. Hwayeon's body glowed with a golden shimmer, pulsing once, twice. Then Taehyung's fire awakened. Soft flames, not of destruction, but of love, like glowing embers on a midsummer's night, rose from his skin and wrapped around her. The golden shimmer and the fire merged, swirling into one luminous light. Their bodies were slowly being lifted from the altar. Everyone gasped, tears streaming down faces, hands clutching hearts. Alice and Anna collapsed into Atara's arms, sobbing. Queen Lilith fell to her knees, whispering, Lilith, no, my son. Jimin's jaw trembled. Even Blaze, ever composed, turned his face away to hide the tears falling. Jungkook stood frozen, his heart splintering in slow motion. He's just staring, wide eyes, lips trembling, watching the two souls rise together. He had always known he wasn't her true love, but he loved her, and losing her like this shattered something inside. Ingrid, standing quietly at the edge, watched the golden shimmer rise. Her icy eyes, filled with unexpected warmth and sorrow. She clasped her hands to her chest, a tear sliding down her cheek. Ingrid, he finally found someone worth melting for, she whispered. Hwayeon's mother cried out as the shimmer began to lift, stumbling forward as if to hold on to her daughter one last time. Illyra, my baby, my flower, she sobbed, falling into her husband's arms. Hwayeon's father stood frozen, tears in his eyes, lips trembling. He wrapped his arms tightly around his wife, watching the light rise. Thalon, she found her happiness, love, even if for a moment. And then, as if guided by destiny itself, the fire and golden shimmer rose higher, swirling around Taehyung and Hwayeon like a glowing storm of love and goodbye. Their bodies slowly lifted from the ground, wrapped in light and warmth, as if the sky itself was calling them home. No one spoke, no one moved, only tears fell. The flames from Taehyung's soul and the golden magic from Hwayeon's heart danced together. glowing brighter and brighter until, a flash, a burst of light shot up into the sky like a falling star in reverse, silent, beautiful, heartbreaking. And just like that, the lovers were gone, gone from this world, gone from pain, gone from the curse. All that remained was a soft rain of golden petals, falling gently from the sky like snow made of light. The throne room stood still, the fairies in the magic land stood frozen, even the dragons bowed their heads. The lovers were no more, but their love would live forever. And so, in love and in loss, the flower and the flame became one, and somewhere, in another life, they'll find each other again.